Just one game after their worst loss of the season, the Minnesota Timberwolves just went into Memphis and pulled off their best win of the season. Whether it was Anthony Edwards scoring 44 points in 3 quarters, Julius Randle having his best game so far for Minnesota, or the team scoring a franchise record 52 points in 1 quarter, it was a game full of electric offense for Minnesota, but it was also an offense that had a plan and executed that plan to perfection. First, it's important to note that this Grizzlies team can really defend. Heading into this game, they ranked 10th in the league defensively, allowing just 113.2 points per 100 possessions. So for Minnesota to score 134.7 points per 100 against them, something had to really work for the Wolves offense, and that came in the form of their ability to wreck Memphis's pick and roll defense. Right out of the gates, they shifted their first piece of this chess match into place, and that's attacking Zach Edey in drop coverage. If he's going to sit deep here off the pick, Minnesota was going to launch 3-point shots relentlessly in this game. Edey is such a force alongside Jaren Jackson Jr. defensively, so this was the first key to unlocking that door. If he's going to drop back here in coverage, he's going to watch 3 balls go up over his head all night long. Edey is enormous but not very mobile, so Memphis are going to default into this drop coverage with him sagging off ball screens like this, and Minnesota was going to get up wide open walk-up threes all game. And that happened periodically throughout the game, and the Wolves were really aware of it. If Memphis do go into drop, they're going to go into 3-point mode, and while Anthony Edwards has become one of the best drop coverage punishers in the league, it was everybody that had that directive to shoot on sight when they saw Edey and the Grizzlies reverting back to their base coverage. But Memphis are a very good team, and they're not going to let that be the death of them, so the chess match continued in different ways throughout the night. So if they're worried about the 3-point shots going up and they decide to push Edey up to hedge the ball handler, Minnesota are going to take him off the bounce, force this defender to help on Gobert off the corner, and then find those shots in those corners. Or, and I think this is more important for Minnesota going forward, if they are going to get that big up to touch, then Gobert is going to duck behind the defense while 2 are committed to the ball, and then find those easy points on the backside. And that's how you put a pick and roll defense in a bind. If they have to bring the big up here to stop Anthony Edwards, they have to find Gobert here in space, and that one pass forces the defensive shell to collapse, and you've got a shooter in the corner and a cutter coming in from the slot, and it's just simple and effective offense out of that original pick and roll. If Minnesota is combining their ability to punish drop coverage with threes and their ability to find the roll man and scramble the defense behind the screen, they become a really dangerous offense. In this game, they were able to toggle between both looks, and I think that's the main reason that they scored 141 points in regulation and had that insanely effective third quarter where they dropped a franchise record 52 points. What I thought was most intriguing about Minnesota's pick and roll offense in this game though, was how often they actually avoided using Gobert as a screener, choosing instead to drop him down here in the dunker spot, and that opened up a bunch of different avenues to break Memphis's defensive coverage off ball screens. When Gobert is low instead of up in that screening action, they've got a screener who can make things happen off the bounce. So if Jackson Jr. is sitting in that drop, protecting Ant's drive, he's having to shift across to get back to Randle, and Randle is really good at getting into his bag when he's attacking a defense that isn't set in front of him when he catches the ball. We know that Gobert isn't going to really capture the defense's attention when he's on the baseline there, but the Wolves can get into different looks with their screener when it's someone with more floor game. Again, if the defender has to switch out of drop coverage and chase out to Randle, he's able to put the ball on the deck and attack closeouts to punish that defensive coverage. And while Minnesota as a whole don't do the best job of finding Gobert around the rim, he is going to be there as an option when he's in that spot. If Reed sets this screen and rolls out of it into the empty side, his defender has to peel off and go with him, and that gives Ant this runway to attack the rim, draw Gobert's defender into help, and then shovel a pass off to Gobert, who's now unguarded at the rim. I think when Minnesota opened up this avenue to punish Memphis's pick and roll defense, their offense was pretty much unstoppable in this game. Like, if Memphis has to switch and chase Naz Reid out of a screen, the worst look Minnesota is getting is Anthony Edwards on an island with a big, and that's a lonely place to be for any defender. Again, that's the worst look Minnesota got out of the ways they decided to puncture Memphis's pick and roll defense in this game. A superstar scorer on a heater going one-on-one with a big. Because if the defense has switched the screen and they're now guarding Naz Reid in the corner and Rudy Gobert in the dunker spot, there's nobody coming to help the switch defender who's stuck in the 7th circle of hell defensively. When you factor in the opponent and just how massive this game was in the race to get out of the play-in, it's incredibly impressive that Minnesota plucked the strings of Memphis's defense the way they did in this game. With every single game meaning so much right now, it's important that this team can really execute a strategy offensively in this kind of way and make good teams and good defenses pay for the way they're trying to defend Minnesota's offensive options. If you enjoyed this breakdown and you want to support Howls and Growls heading into the postseason, there's a couple of links in the pinned comment below where you can become a member to the channel and help it to keep growing. Or you can click that like button, subscribe to the channel, or give me your thoughts in the comments. Thanks again for watching.